We live.
We back.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Everybody not in Miami.
But I mean, Patrick, you're not in Miami, are you?
I am not, unfortunately. I wish. Art Basel is one of the best events, energy, so much. Miami, GTA 6. It's a real life video game.
That's your home too, right? You're a
former
not Miami, Jacksonville. Where'd you grow up? Somewhere in Florida.
Yeah. I grew up in Jacksonville, and then I was in Miami for a couple of years. And the GTA trailer was on point for sure.
I got to say that I am very happy I'm not in Miami right now, because I know that I'd be. My life in the woods up here has no traffic. I mean, our traffic is like 4 p.m. when the old people go out for dinner, and trying to get across that bloody bridge between South Beach and Brickell or downtown is like the most painful thing. I just don't need that in my life anymore. So I'm very glad we're going to be streaming live from Basel a little bit later on in this episode. So very excited that Cheryl is there with her tiny mic and her weird friends. And then we can just beam people in from here. So it's going to be exciting. We got folks showing up in the chat. We got the episode pre-mint live on pods that you can go to. I think we'll show a notification in the chat here. You can mint that thing. You're going to want to do it. We got some fun stuff to give away this episode. So make sure you do it. But look at all. What's up? What is up, friends? We have like an absurdly packed show today, Josh. We're not going to get through it all. I don't.
We were laughing before this. It's like as soon as we get in a flow with anything, we just decide to kind of blow it all up and try new things. And here we are. We got Patrick joining us for 10. Then we're going to run through some topics. Then we're going live to Miami, and who knows what's going to happen when we do that. So
could be good. Could be good. Oh, Patrick in the chat. All right. Well, hey, Peace, do you want to get the show on the road?
Let's do it. I'll play us in here.
All right. It's episode 6 of Internet Explorers. That seems fun. 6 episodes. Exciting. Big show here today. Hello, Peace Node. Hello, Josh. Hello, Patrick. Hello, folks in the chat. If you are watching this on Twitter or any of the places we're streaming to, the way you can jump into the conversation and be a part of it is at live.seedclub.xyz. So make sure you hop on over there. We got a juicy list today to get through. So
let's jump into it. I think before this we were saying there's just no way we get through all our topics. So let's see if we can. So starting with Sperm Game, we have Patrick here joining us, which is amazing. I think like we've had the privilege of seeing the behind scenes of what Patrick's working on and how he's been thinking about it for quite a while now. He was in our last cohort, and we've been friendly for a while. But the number of times I've heard people say, "I don't know what Patrick's building. It looks insane. I'm gonna keep paying attention, but I have no idea what this thing is." Many people. And I think so. This week you announced your first big drop, which is sick. It's called Sperm Game, and I think alongside that you also dropped a kind of little mini tweet about kind of how you're thinking about the opportunity of the world's largest and how you're approaching building that. So maybe let's start with what the world's largest is, and then we can get into what Sperm Game is.
Totally. So awesome to be here. This is sweet. I'm loving just the whole aesthetic, all of it. I've been dropped in a few times, so you guys are doing a great job. And so TWL, the world's largest. So basically the way we're framing it now is we're a gaming studio for crypto degens, and kind of gaming as a concept. Like a lot of people, when you say gaming, they think, okay, it's like hardcore. You're on a PC or a console, like a PlayStation or Xbox, and it's something that these nerds do in their mom's basement with like 5 Red Bulls on the weekend. But now with mobile gaming, especially over the past decade and the iPhone App Store, gaming is becoming this more like social activity, this casual activity. You play it on the subway, on the way to work, in between, like on the toilet, while waiting in line for coffee. And gaming is more, it's being infused into all sorts of consumer products and game design and game elements. And a lot of people have talked about like blockchains and Ethereum. It's yeah, of course, there's decentralization and all these like very important philosophies, but also at the end of the day, it enables these new types of economic games. And so that's kind of like background on just like how I feel about just like the broader industry and just gaming in general. And then specifically what we're working on, like really we just want to build fun experiences every few weeks and just get people excited about them and kind of like compound on this community that we build. And so yeah, every few weeks we're going to launch this fun on-chain experience, and then we're building up to this Genesis NFT mint over the next few months, and that'll be our core community, our first earliest supporters. They'll get VIP access to future experiences, they'll get future TWL assets, and then over time we'll just continue launching these games. And who knows, maybe sometimes they'll be more ephemeral, like 24-hour experiences like the first drop, or 7-day experiences like this one. But over time we definitely want to evolve into more like long-term persistent products that we're building, and maybe we double down on one, maybe there's a suite of products, who knows. We're keeping it pretty flexible and just focusing on distribution and doing insane fun stuff and compounding on this core community to start. And so I'll stop there, but happy to go into anything.
I mean, I love the reaction when you dropped this trailer for the Sperm game. I think I tweeted like, what? And then people were shocked. They're like, what? Didn't you know this is what he was doing when you backed him? Like, yes, but I don't think I was going to spend next week navigating a sperm up a fallopian tube of some sort towards some NFT. Like, I don't think that was in my cards for December this year. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I think this is very much like the you know, you were ahead of the game. You had a great post early on talking about ephemeral apps. I think it's very clearly a thing that has become real since then, and I think you continue to push at the edges there. So very excited about this as sort of a modality and the way people interact. And also I think there's sort of like this interesting balance between distribution and like kind of leaning into the degen-ness, but also I know you have a very long-term minded approach here, right? Where it's not just about one thing that goes out. All these things build towards a bigger collective thing that you're building. And so I think you sharing that this week was super helpful, at least in illustrating how these things come together to create something that isn't just going to last for 2 weeks. It's going to be a series of things that last for a little bit of time, but build up into, hopefully a lifelong project here.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's like one phrase I really like in many ways. It's kind of true and kind of not true, but it's like the community is the product at the end of the day. It's like the people that you're building with. And it's like people have talked about like product studios, and a lot of people, especially investors, they don't really like that term because it's like, oh, you're not. And there's many reasons why I don't like it either, where it's like, okay, you're just going to build a lot of things. You don't have conviction in it. And if it doesn't go viral within the first week, then you just move on to the next thing. And it's like a fun thing to build, but it's not a great business. And I think the issue with a lot of those is that they're not compounding on the customer base or the community that they're building. It's kind of like, we're going to launch one like consumer fintech thing, and then one like social thing, and then one like marketplace, and just completely different audiences every time. But here, every single time, your reputation, that's compounding over time through our point system and the way we reward you, the assets, etc. All of that compounds over time. And so that's why we want to be very clear in kind of who we're targeting, these crypto degens, and still doing it in like a secure. We're not going to go like full like Ponzi, anything like that. It's more so just like being very explicit on, hey, we're targeting like crypto, the people here today, and it's not very many people, but they are very excited, very passionate. Things spread very quickly. They spend a ton of money on things, and so you can, at least to start with the business, being very, very explicit and focusing there. That's kind of our strategy.
You never go full Ponzi.
That
a long way of saying it's Ponzi.
that metagame you're building is like really where I think the core innovation of this lies, and really what has got me so excited about, like, I think ephemeral games in general and the opportunity of them in crypto, because this isn't just this transaction based thing like, Mischief or like Drop Studios of the past, right? By having this kind of like crypto asset, like brand layer that's persistent, you're like facilitating some of this like, bottoms up community building and like culture making. You're allowing like core fans to reveal themselves and have kind of deeper, ownership in what you're building, and ultimately like have this very like real tangible mechanism to like store the shared belief and value and like attention that you're generating beyond just like having to release another physical product and sell it. So I think you can like compare it to Mischief or things like that, but I think ultimately because of those maybe seemingly simple changes, I think this is going to just get wildly more interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the goal. And they're definitely an inspiration, but now it's really around like taking the superpowers of crypto, Web3. And I see a debate now. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on like the role of speculation in building a community and proliferating the technology. I have some thoughts, but I'm curious what you guys think on
that. Yeah, I love you setting that up. I think there's this sense of well, you see these sort of narratives catch on and be early, and then they sort of like distill themselves down into the most basic memes, if you will. And I think that the meme of consumer crypto right now is speculation. And I think, I mean, we saw that happen with DAOs and NFTs, just sort of as the attention picks up, like the nuance gets lost in it. And so I think our at least my position, I tweeted earlier today, I think, it's speculation is just such an incredible tool, and it's so fun, and it needs to be a part of this. It really is part of like the magic, I think, of what crypto is from absolute day one. But I think if it isn't in pursuit of something bigger, or of a why, or of a mission, or of something that is at least going to have longevity to it, it ultimately leads to worse outcomes than what could be created here. So I think it's important to see that nuance. And I love just seeing the conversation on Twitter right now getting into that. I think the wrong thing to take away from that is speculation equal bad. Speculation's like our ability to kickstart network effects. I mean, this is just such a prime example of that is core. But of course, all these tools can be used for short-term Ponzi games, and maybe that's not the best way to go. But if we can use them and figure out how to use them to build something that is actually a long-term attention asset, a network that people want to be a part of, I think that ultimately is good. So love speculation. We speculate every single day. All of us do. How can we harness that actually to create long-term value? I think is the pursuit that at least we're most interested in.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, it feels weird. It's like for some reason, it's like casinos, they're looked on as like, oh man, these are these terrible things. And you go and it's like Vice City, or you go to Las Vegas, and it just feels like so like gross to certain people. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there's like games, video games. That's why I like leaning into that, kind of just like industry, just like understanding it more and really like building in that category, because games still have a lot of the elements like loot boxes, like spending money on things. And of course there's not like the just like pure speculation of like making money out of it, but it's like there's something in the middle. And I feel like it gets lost in like Twitter, where it's like speculation equals like degen casino Ponzi, just because that's most of it. But like, how do we take the elements of like economic empowerment? It's a very important need. And it's like with social products, it's not going to be like decentralization or like owning your data. It's going to be, you want status, you want entertainment, you want friends, and then economic empowerment is like very, very important. You sit on these Twitter spaces and you hear some of the stories. It's like, I was working 60 hours at Amazon warehouse and I heard about NFTs, or I don't have any college degree, or I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in, like somewhere in, who knows, just across the world.
I heard that CZ actually worked at a McDonald's here in Vancouver at some point. I don't know if that's true. That's what my buddy just told me. I was like, what? Like the true McDonald's to, I guess, jail arc maybe is the thing, but there's a lot of other stuff between then. All right, Patrick, give us the alpha. Like how do people not miss this next week? How are we ensuring, like, what should we be doing? Obviously collecting all the things probably is going to be a good idea, but help people who are listening right now be set up for success next week.
Yeah, at least for now, we share all of our communication on Twitter. So just follow, turn notifications on so you don't miss anything. And over the next few days, we'll just keep sharing more information, launching our Discord on Monday, so you have a place to chat during Sperm Game. And then next Wednesday, we're going to be launching Sperm Game. And so we'll share everything on Twitter and in our Discord. So just hop in there. The earlier you play, the more rewards you can get. So play as early as possible if you're interested.
I mean, Patrick, you have to finish anything you say like that with "strap the fuck in." This has got to be your tagline here, baby. Strap the fuck in. Next week, Sperm Game. Two final points. One, I love that somebody replied to me and said, "Hey, have you played the Sperm Game at Science World?" which is like our Vancouver science, where your kids go. And there's sent me this video of a kid using a joystick to navigate.
Oh my God.
So I think this is going to be a little bit more unhinged. And I think the second thing is, just so people are super clear, we are investors in the world's largest, so we are completely biased here, 100%. Don't get that wrong. we have economic alignment with here, but also just incredibly excited about what you're building. So appreciate you coming on and joining us today. We got too much to get into, so I have to kick you the heck out of here. But yeah, go give TWL a follow, and I'll look forward to playing with you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Strap the fuck in,
sir.
Patrick.
Strap the fuck in. Let's go.
All right.
Are you ready to be a sperm?
It's a good video when Peace just like plays it. He doesn't even need to cook it or mess it up in any way. It just naturally works with the content. Of the show.
I love it.
All right, cool. Yeah, let's jump into this John Palmer thesis that he dropped. So I think over the course of the last week, I've like kind of been offline, but I feel like every time I would open Twitter, I would see like a new kind of provocative tweet from him. Had a few people just saying he was, I don't know, on fire with some of his recent takes, which is cool. But then he, I guess yesterday or a few days ago, kind of compiled it all into kind of a more cohesive thesis. And I think there's just like a lot in there that we also agree with and like talking about. So I thought it could be fun to just kind of go, there are three kind of core points there. Just kind of go point by point and just kind of share our thoughts and perspectives on it. So maybe to kick it off, Jess, you want to, what do you feel? What do you think about when you hear smooth brain wins?
I mean, I'm like, thank you, John, for distilling the things that we talk about often and into a very simple 3 bullet points. So smooth brain. I mean, I've been on the smooth brain kick for a while. I think John and I are probably hanging out with some of the same people who've long been on a smooth brain kick for a while. Shout out Jacob. And it's just like keeping things simple and clear. I think that it's actually like the foundation of so much of what else he gets into here. So many teams get locked into this, the token engineering and the spreadsheets and how am I going to stake things and lock stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And I think it's not what people ultimately want. It's not how information flows. And almost inevitably, the simplest form of something is going to be the thing that's going to check in the most. So we just use it as like it's like a call to action in our conversations that we're thinking about building stuff, thinking like, what's the smooth brain approach here? That's been very helpful in pursuing, or at least getting to a more simple offer or product.
Yeah, it really has, like just holding that bell curve meme in your head and be like, what would the left side of this say if it wasn't day to day so in the weeds as I am? But yeah, I think like, we see that with the success of meme coins, right? And the most successful protocols have a very clear narrative. Like if the thing isn't easy to understand and easy to get value from some like random consumer who's getting bombarded by thousands of things every day, it's just probably not going to break through. So I think like, of course, having, a complex strategy is one thing, but figuring out how to smooth brain communicate it is
I think we get in our way a lot, and that not being smooth brain is actually probably going to hurt you at a certain point.
I feel like that was our motto for some period of time, wasn't it? It was like, just get the fuck out of our way.
Well, yes. I mean, continues to be in the way all the time, man.
And will forever be. And okay, cool. Let's jump to the second one. So people want to own things, not do things.
I mean, these are I love these lines because I think what we say often is like people want ownership experiences, not responsibilities. Talking sort of about like what a DAO consumer product would look like, and I think that's the thing. We look at. I mean, we were just doing some reviews of tokens, and you sort of look at like governance participation versus like transaction volume or attention or interest, and it's just like so wildly disparate, right? Like very few people want to actually vote on governance. Clearly, there's some pockets where that is like the core thing. And I think looking at the latest retro PGF round, there's probably a ton of drama and entertainment value in that. And so maybe that's a counterpoint here. But yeah, people want to own things, not do things. We need to build experiences that make that easy and compelling.
To me, that is like the most bold statement for the whole thing. It's so hot. Like no one has said that in the last 2 years. no one has said you don't need an app, you just need a token. And him coming out and saying that so plainly, that like the token is the product, is like an awesomely smooth take right there. It's great. Absolutely no wrinkles in that one.
Bitcoin was the first crypto consumer product.
Yeah,
probably the most successful today still. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of related to the Z Prime article we talked about last week, right? Where like, you know, like tokens are a product and like the killer product of this world we're building. I think I'm increasingly getting, I'm kind of bullish on like the set it and forget it products. So like you need no attention, and then the kind of, you know, very excited by the ephemeral products where, you know, you can show up, pay attention for a couple hours, a couple weeks, whatever, but like kind of spiked attention. The things that I'm struggling to get excited by are really like seeing a path to them breaking through, are the things that these kind of like monolithic, like persistent, you got to show up day after day, high frequency usage. Like there's just getting those like escape velocity in today's world is like, we just haven't really seen it recently.
Just reading the chat here. Jacob's a little confused about the ghost voice that's in here. Peace Note just jumping in. Peace Note's our VJ. He runs the screen and is responsible for making it interesting quips every once in a while. So you're doing a great job, Peace.
He's down there in the bottom left.
That's right.
Web VJ, Peace Note. Yeah. This is just such a good thesis. I think, you know, John's just got such a great way of communicating these things and just slowing them down. When he gets off on some, you know, whether it's tennis or whatever the whole thing is, idea guy. I love it. Like he said earlier this week, he's like, I'm moving on from being an idea guy into an execution guy. I DM'd him and said, can you please be an idea guy for a couple of weeks at least in January, because we're launching something fun that is for idea guys. He promised me that he'd still be open to that. So
once an idea guy, always an idea guy. You can't you can LARP as an execution guy, but if you're an idea guy at heart, it's tough to break out.
Permission to pivot denied.
Just anything to add on top companies are built on rising asset classes, new rising asset classes.
Well, I mean, I think the whole conversation around the Solana ecosystem after the Jito airdrop, which I think we'll talk about in a bit, and just the number of tokens that emerged there, I think it's easy to forget how much of an impact so many of those early successful DeFi products in EFI or in ETH had on the space, and just bringing in a ton of capital. I don't think you have the NFT bull run without DeFi summer. And so I think you can see something similar happening there over in the Solana ecosystem. And so this is like the story of crypto, is people coming in, being early, getting wealthy, you know, being big missionary supporters of this stuff and facilitating it on. And so, I think it's like the core to crypto. And
I think the way I kind of interpret it is that, you know, like tokens, NFTs, collectibles, like these are like our foundational advantage versus, you know, anything not being built on Web3, and like trying to abstract them and make the thing look like Web2. You're kind of just you're eliminating any advantage you have, right? So the things that are going to be most interesting here and break out and show us the path to whatever dramatically more interesting internet they're gonna have this rising new asset class, like very visible at the core.
I deeply believe that. Alrighty, our friends at Forefront. I love this because it's super. I was like, what? I was literally like, what is Forefront up to right now? Because I haven't heard a lot from them. And then it was like, launching something new today. I was like, well, that's magical timing. Jess, you want to introduce it? And I got thoughts.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I think it's funny because like we've kind of been noodling around with like this exact idea or a very similar idea, very close idea. Internally, I think ever since in offsite, where like Peace and Hurls were like user generated mints. You're like, okay, what's that? And they kind of went off, talk about something that looks very similar. So basically what they've dropped is I guess the best way to describe it is probably like an interactive blog where anyone can, you know, mint excerpts, and then it's built on Zora. So any excerpts you mint, you're actually able to provide comments on, and collectors of the specific excerpts are also able to provide comments on. So I guess like as a reader, not only can you kind of read the original text, but, you know, once you're done that, if you want to go a level deeper, you can, you know, scroll through the community curated excerpts, you know, see the additional like context people are adding, and kind of just like adds this like curatorial exploration layer on top of just kind of a like flat static piece of content, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and they're making use of the on-chain comments from Zora in a really interesting way, and sort of creating this mint stream, which I think is cool. I think the thinking we had was like, just imagine Medium, and instead highlights were mintable. You mint your highlights, and you can sort of, I think there's actually a way to push this even further, and actually have that be part of the revenue model that sustains creators that are publishing on these platforms. Like, if you just think about, I remember thinking Medium is like the most perfect platform that could actually integrate crypto and do something massive with it if they wanted to. And so, Forefront taking a run at this, I think, is super exciting, and really interested to see where that goes. But I do think like this plus, protocol rewards or network rewards that get distributed based on people minting these things is probably a pretty interesting idea, and we'll probably do something with that at some point in the future. But shout out to Forefront for building to the bear and dropping something cool.
Yeah, Peace, do you have anything to add? Because you got pretty excited about this concept of user-generated mints.
Well, I just think it's incredibly fun. I think it's going to be super interesting to see what kind of like mind share that this creates, basically, because now all of a sudden Forefront is going to be able to see what actually resonates with people right after they publish it. And I just think that's the right thing to have showing up in explorers like Farcaster or Mint Fun. And it's like way more dynamic for just like everyone on either side of the content, both in the article and through the minting experience. And it's going to be interesting. Like, what's going to get value? Like, my guess right now is like typos and like words you can accidentally make are going to like fucking moon or something incredibly smooth brained like that. But we'll see what people highlight. I think it's going to be a really fun thing for people to play with.
That's great. I think you're go ahead, Jess.
There's some interesting links in the chat here. Peace, can you open up the one that Jacob just shared? It's quotebacks.net.
Yeah, let's hop back to that.
Let's have a poke. Yeah. Oh, that's what you're looking at before. Got it. Okay, right. That makes sense. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a bit of a deeper rabbit hole that we probably can't get into right now. Have a look at that.
Yeah, this looks cool though. It's a Chrome extension, so yeah, love extensions. Yeah, very interesting.
I think maybe quickly, like, I think another reason this is pretty interesting is I'm starting to kind of think about collecting as almost like a crypto native form of SEO, or like similar kind of reasons to do it and create things that can be collected as people leaned into SEO and in Web 2. And I think like as minting and collection experiences start to get built out, being able to just create like really high volume, interesting mints are just going to be like this very core marketing channel for like crypto native orgs. And seeing like early stages of it with like mint.fun and interface, and even just the impact of like getting on the Zora homepage. But I think like as stuff gets built out, that's going to become increasingly obvious.
Yeah, totally agree. I think we've seen that as well. Just that distribution, like minting something that gets distributed through Farcaster and interface and Zora and block explorers more generally is just an interesting distribution mechanism there. And yeah, I know the chat. There's so much value in the chat here. So if people are listening on Twitter, if they're listening on YouTube right now, come over to live.seedclub.xyz. There are a wealth of interesting links in the chat that we can't even get into today because we're already behind, baby. We're already behind. No, we're right on time. I would love to talk about the boys club Zine because they just took over Miami, took over the internet yesterday. Boys club, very excited to be part of the Seed Club network. I've worked with this team for a while and heard reports from their Zine launch party. I think their second Zine has come out today. Had a launch party last night, and it just looked awesome. It's just an incredible product, and I love that anybody who's able to sort of curate and highlight just real human beings doing real awesome things in the space. I think it's just such a service for our industry, and Boys Club just continues to lead the way there. So huge shout out to them. And yeah, so I woke up with an idea this morning, and I messaged the team and I'm like, how many of these things do you have left? And they let me know they had about 30 left. So Seed Club's actually bought out the entire collection, the remaining 30 Zine issues, I guess, that are left. And so if you are here with us today in the chat, we want to make it available to you. We're just huge supporters of the Boys Club, excited to help them sell out this entire first run in just 24 hours. And I think we're going to drop a link here in the chat. So if you're plugged in and live with us here, fill that out. If you're in the continental United States, we will send one of these to you if you are the first 30 or so. Excited that we can support the Boys Club team and the mission that they're doing there.
Yeah,
Link is
awesome.
in the chat.
They're just one of the most impressive like communities and brands in crypto, honestly. You know,
I
like
just feel like you can just like very confidently be like, go here. If you're interested in crypto and you're new, just go here. You will find like-minded people and be well taken care of.
100%.
And you're going to go do something cool.
Yeah.
So shout out.
Nice.
Canada does not count, unfortunately. It's got to be in the United States. See in the chat. Sorry.
Which is hilarious.
Sorry.
Because we're two Canadian guys not eligible
I can get
to participate in our own thing.
But we can participate in airdrops, so I think we win.
Joke's on you. Joke's on you, America. Cool.
Yeah.
I see a Cheryl.
Oh, we're jumping ahead. We got to jump ahead. We've got what do we got here? We got a Cheryl?
We got a Cheryl. Please, can we get a oh no, she's waving us off. Okay, we don't have a Cheryl yet.
We don't have a Cheryl.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to the next. Let's go to what else we got here.
Let's power through. Okay, we got Jito. We had to have Jito. So Jito's a Solana-based liquid staking protocol, and they had their airdrop yesterday. And it went bananas. It's like everything else on Solana has been. I think 10,000 wallets were eligible for the airdrop, and the minimum amount people received at current prices, maybe it's even higher now because it's kind of continued pumping post airdrop, but it was like 10K USD. So I don't know, getting very strong throwbacks to kind of like early DeFi summer, which kicked off a lot of like NFT craze on Ethereum and bull market on Ethereum, and was kind of just like looking at just like the impact the like stimmy or whatever, like the halo effect of this on the Solana ecosystem. And like it's pretty significant, right? Like Solana is up, like Sol is up 50%. There are a bunch of like actively traded pre-launch tokens of other DeFi protocols in Solana. Like they all got dramatically repriced. I dropped some links in there if you want to open it. Bonk keeps flipping other Ethereum coins. Solana NFTs are pumping. The TWL across Solana DeFi projects is up, I think, as much as 65%, like day over day. So I think it's just seeing the like compounding network effects that come from prices going up and having a few kind of successes in an ecosystem is amazing.
It is embarrassing how tightly correlated price going up and my mood is. Like, I feel like a whole new man this week, Josh. Whole new man. I'm only half joking.
You have been energized. No, you have been energized.
I've been energized, baby.
Yeah,
been energized. Yeah. I mean, love seeing Homie. That team's been great. Love seeing them succeed. I think there's sort of like this redemption arc for Solana is kind of fun as well. And it's definitely something we're keeping a close eye on over in that ecosystem. There's been a ton of advancements there. So, but man, I feel like I'm on the sidelines on this one. That's an airdrop I missed. Like, I'm just so not in the loop. I'm sitting here just like, I actually had to turn off Twitter yesterday because I was just like, I can't. The FOMO is so real here. I don't. Yeah.
Do we have any chat participants get a little stimmy yesterday? Yeah, I think what's so interesting here is that 6 months ago, unless you were kind of like very ideologically aligned with Solana or were maybe early there and just cared a lot about the ecosystem, like being kind of like a pragmatic builder, it would have been a hard decision to launch there. And it's already just becoming so much more attractive, right? Like there's the attention it has, the increase of liquidity and TWL it has there. And like, this is largely kind of front running a lot of products or like interesting things to do. So you can kind of go there and not like easily, but, be a category leading project. And there's lots of kind of well-capitalized people there who are stoked on the ecosystem and have newfound money and want to play with stuff.
I think there's like, an interesting dynamic, right? So we've had sort of this L2 wave in the ETH ecosystem in the last little while, and it's actually led to a lot of fragmentation of liquidity and attention, and I think that actually creates a world where Solana actually can start to really shine in a way that it didn't before. As a builder, you are actually it's a difficult decision to choose where to, like, on what chain should I go build right now, especially if you even just want to build in the ETH ecosystem. There's so many options, and so that uncertainty there is actually a big drag today for builders. And I think also, like, what comes along with this L2 right now is there is like a noticeable decrease in the importance of decentralization, right? Like, most of these L2s are multi-sigs, and that's not a huge secret, but maybe the thing that most people don't think about. And so, like, the trade-offs between like, I think if you compared ETH and Solana on decentralization and uptime and all that sort of stuff, like, ETH is just the play. I want my squiggles on ETH. I don't want them on Solana. But when you start stepping into some of these other consumer experiences where you're kind of making a trade-off between user experience and maybe decentralization, the decision starts to get a bit different. So I think it's definitely interesting. We're seeing that emerge in a lot of the builders we're talking to and the projects that are pitching us, and something I'm paying close attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. I think we're still rolling here. So yeah, Jess, you wanna? This is when you sent over, I think, earlier this morning, article from Mason about bots. What was it called? Please, if you want to open it, I forget the name of the article.
Yeah, Mason Variant was talking about bots as being first-class citizens of the blockchain. I think in this world where with AI agents and I guess the thing that I think clicks the most for me is, like, if an AI agent is not going to mess around with the traditional banking system, right? Like, you can't see a world where you go train this model that's going to go do something out on the internet and then have it wait for an ACH to clear or the markets to open type thing. So crypto rails are just obviously the right thing, and we've seen the early examples of this with some of the Telegram trading bots. You're seeing it in the gaming space. Parallel's working on some of that stuff. There's a whole host of projects in sort of like this, generative worlds that are coming out, and I think it's just I don't have a deep insight here, other than if you look at most popular networks right now, bots are a meaningful amount of the transaction volume that's going through these, and I think projects that recognize that as being a first-class consumer or participant in their network is positioned pretty well for, or at least it's something to think about. So I think Mason goes real deep on this in the thread, and it's definitely worth a read if you want to kind of get into seeing some of the examples and some of the mental models that he's laid out here to make sense of the space. And we're seeing a ton of deals come through that are touching in around this right now. So it's a very hot thing. I think on the our ventures team was kind of talking about the hype around LLMs and kind of the base models that kind of really took over this summer. I think we're seeing similar hype around agent-based or AI agents.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to give bots or agents like a bank account and ability to like own assets very easily, it's obviously going to take us to some really weird places, right? Like the extent that of bots in Web 2 were like follow Twitter following bots or like liking bots, or it's all kind of this like social kind of content based stuff, but giving them like a system of value and payment rails that they can transact on and understand and consume is just going to be so weird and interesting.
I just love, Jamie Dimon's making the rounds with Elizabeth Warren this week, talking about how crypto is all trash, and I just love how like so fucking wrong that man is. Also, shout out to Charlie Munger, obviously rest in peace, died, but he had a great podcast with one of the Collison brothers this week, and he just tears into Bitcoin and crypto as well. And it's just like my experience and understand it just feels like there's such this old guard that is just so far behind and trying to hold on to the power. And that's even just in like their limited understanding of crypto. Let's call it crypto V1. You start to step into agents and AI and how crypto interacts with that. Like, good luck in keeping up and paying attention with that. And I think we're smarter than Jamie Dimon, so
good for us.
Cooler and nicer, and we look better. We smell better. Actually, he probably smells good. Too. I think he probably smells pretty good. I think that guy's got some good cologne, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure his reading level, his reading comp is up. I shouldn't tease
That's
him
true.
for that.
No. Well, he's a gazillionaire, so obviously very competent at what he's doing.
Okay, we got some action in Miami.
Oh, you love to see it.
What is up?
Hello, potatoes. We can't hear you, potatoes. There we are. We got the potatoes.
We live on a little baby mic.
Let's go. Live from Miami, live from his house. Hello.
Live
Give,
at the
give us a look
Bass
around.
House.
Give us a quick look around. Turn that phone around. I want to see what's going on. Nice.
Can we flip
Face
the
house.
phone?
We can
Let's
flip
see.
the phone. Here
Oh
we go.
yeah.
Oh
This
shit!
is-
Wait, hold on. My camera's really dirty. Okay.
I love
No,
how
we're
this
good.
literally looks
Maybe it's
like
still so
you're
dirty.
streaming from like an iMac webcam
so-
from 2002.
dirty.
Yeah, we're
Is
doing
this
it
better?
live.
All right,
Wait, is
so-
it- can we?
What is
do
up with your
this?
camera here? Do I look cool? I think
Yeah.
something.
Why
Is
is
it just not
I love it.
focusing?
I love that in my vision. I'm like,
Maybe it's
oh,
the light.
move over CNN. We don't need a satellite truck for this. We can just like, you know,
we
plug right
definitely
into
don't need a
the
satellite.
internet right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
there
That's
we go,
better.
there we
go. All right.
Now that's clear.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is. I mean, let's. I feel. Do you
Yeah,
want?
let's
to
do a
walk
little tour.
around?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do a tour. So we're just in the. Here, Cheryl. What up? We're just in the main like sitting area where we've been doing talks, and so it's cooler from this side. We have like a nice little seating there. We got a nice little animation going. I love this like curved wall with the white. It looks very cool. Oh yeah, we got Slow Rodeo. Freaking Slow Rodeo repping it.
Those are so sick. Those are so sick.
Slow Rodeo X Crowd News X Bass.
Can we go? Can you get him just to introduce this? Because I want that shirt very badly.
You want
so-
to introduce us? You want to just quickly say what that is?
Ooh, can I hear? Now I'm hearing both of you guys. Yeah, so this is the collaborative apparel that we did with Crowd Muse, Slow Rodeo, and Bass, dropping today at 4 p.m. Oh, this thing's like in my face.
There you go. Yeah. Turn it
Show the
Turn it
your
around.
backside.
Slow has all the power. I love it. Yeah, dropping at 4 p.m. today on Bass, Slow Rodeo, Crowd Muse, X Bass. Pretty epic. Let's go.
Goes so well.
Okay.
Goes so well with an online ceramics hat too.
Yeah, right. And
One
you
of the
can't, I
47.
guess you can't see it, but if folks are in Miami, we got a full lineup rest of today. Happy hour 5 to 8 tonight. Same thing tomorrow. Happy hour 5 to 8 tomorrow. Okay, so now we're gonna walk out of where the. Yeah, this is awesome. I love that you guys are letting me do this right now. I'm just gonna say hi again.
I'm questioning
okay.
our decisions deeply, but I love. We'll see where it goes.
Here we got highlight. This is some cool on-chain art, generative. I love these hats that they made here. They got the like sick generative. Just it's one word. Let's go. And then we got some music happening over there.
Tokenized coffee.
Yeah, a bunch of here. Do you want to get a coffee? Should we do a coffee live?
Tokenized.
Well, I guess we're gonna need your phone. Hey, Drew, you want to buy a coffee really quickly?
What up, Drew?
Oh, it's true.
That's Drew. Drew, say hi. Yeah, this is Base Cafe. I think we should. Here, why don't you let me buy a coffee and we can show this? Can we buy a coffee?
I think
We're gonna buy a
Drew.
coffee on Bass.
I think Drew and Derek Taylor, they've got an interesting nouns proposal up right now to do a nouns coffee shop, which is super cool.
Well,
I think that's still live right now.
This is kind of what we're iterating with. So we've been iterating on Base Cafe for a while. So this is the third one. But here I want decaf espresso. Or no, decaf cappuccino. So I'm just gonna add that.
Jesse needs a
there.
decaf. It's for sure. The stoke
Yeah,
here
for
is
sure.
too high. Worry
And
about your
then
heart
I'm just
otherwise.
Oh, we got two in here. I don't need a Cornelius. So I just scanned that QR code, and so now it's on my phone, and the internet's gonna load. I don't want the Cortadito, and then I'm just gonna check out. It's free because I have the NFT that we got here, and I'm gonna sign it, and boom! Now I just got my free coffee, and I can see it all on chain.
Jesse, when I remember
got
being
merch. Boom.
I remember being in Denver for one of the Metacartel events, and they like the complication of trying to actually just like give people food credits to go buy from like the food trucks was so complicated. You have to, the difference we've had from then till now, I think, is maybe the best representation of the advancement of the infrastructure.
The difference we had from the first Base Cafe to now is it took like, it used to take like 10 steps, and now it's like you scan the QR code, and if you have the NFT or minted NFT, it's free. Otherwise, it's $5, and you just press one button, it's done. I mean, that's like, and that's 6 months of iteration. And so like I was talking about, like we're gonna bring like hundreds of coffee shops on chain next year. It's gonna be epic. The world's ready for it.
You have like a deep history in sort of local currencies as well, right? Is that right, Jesse?
Yeah.
Like you're involved in like
Oak. Yeah, we've been building Oak in Oakland for the last 3 years. It's the local community currency stablecoin that we actually just launched this summer. Still very small, but the idea is basically like create a circular economy in the city of Oakland, get accepted all the businesses, take a stablecoin, reinvest in the community with decentralized governance, bootstrap a full on-chain city, and use this kind of as the entry point. So I've been hacking on this for health, I think, but it's cool to see it finally starting to come to life.
Wait, show us the art here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we're gonna keep going around. So we got some just like a bunch of art that rotating through. But I think one of the cool things is that now like everything's just so much more accessible. So you can scan the QR code, and then most of the things are like $1. You just mint it, and like you're right there. So I love that. And then we've got the other cool thing that's happening this week is we're doing base hunt, which is basically like a whole treasure hunt around the city of Miami. And so anytime anyone finds any piece of treasure, it adds some points here. We're trying to get to 10 million, it looks like. And if we get to 10 million, something happens. I'm not sure. We're just getting started. It's the very beginning. But as you do the hunt, you basically like get a bunch of cool merch. So yeah, the weird like Coinbase bath suit. I don't know why you'd want that, but your tinted says it's comfy. I like this one. This is the print is dead bomber. It's like, okay, I guess. Some people over there.
I love this. Jesse's like, I have deep control and understanding of everything we're doing here as part of the base team in Miami. You're like, I have no idea what the fuck's actually happening, and it's all surprise.
I showed up here last night, and I was like, this is epic, you guys. You did a great job. That was my experience. They killed it.
What's your take on?
One last thing.
Go for it.
Okay, no, you were gonna say, what's my take?
Well, I want to know the take on the event more broadly, but then I realized maybe you just got in last night, and maybe Cheryl's the better person to talk about it. But give me like the big picture.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of promoting people who are sitting here in chat.
This is just cool Atari stuff that Atari's doing. They're coming on chain as well. So we've been having fun. We got Pong, and we got I don't even know what this is. It's Atari 50, so classic. Cheryl, what's your take on the event so far?
Socks with Crocs.
One second.
Okay. I really enjoyed the struggle of getting a coffee when I really needed it the most, and having to do that on chain was really a fun experience for me. But now that the coffee has hit, I'm really enjoying this event generally. I feel like it's a great crowd. The art is very fun. I like that I've been collecting random like hairless cat Sphinx NFTs. Feels on brand.
It seems very on brand. Very on brand.
Art Basel has been fun. I'm extremely tired, so I need a nap. But I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun at like NFT Now's Gateway. I went to Boys Club last night, and that was a big vibe. They had a photography studio turned into like an old internet nostalgia like playhouse. It was very fun. The zines sold out, so congrats to Boys Club. And other than that, just been like enjoying the nice sun and Miami vibes, but I'm like pretty ready to go home and take a nap.
The fact that you are there right now is the funniest thing to me.
Yeah, because all year I was like, I will not go to Art Basel Miami Beach 2023, and here I am.
2 days before you.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think I'm looking forward. Jesse, we're thinking that the new feature here, like a standard piece, like some content that we should be putting out, is just Cheryl on the street with her. And I think that the name was Baby Mike and Weird Friends. And so I think this is the very first episode of
Yeah.
this.
Oh wow, I'm the first weird friend.
The Genesis weird friend.
I'm honestly, I'm honored.
So you're gonna get a collectible.
I'm
of
honored.
Weird Friends.
I'm honored.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Alrighty.
I'll also say that I was at there was like a whole day nouns event with like little nouns and pizza Dow last night, and I was there, and such good vibes. I mean, like nouns always impeccable vibes.
And later we're gonna go to Refraction Miami and root for Sona Stream and Laura and the Refraction team, which I'm pretty stoked about. Also Pleaser Dow, shout out.
Yeah. Shout out, Pleaser
Yeah.
Dow.
A lot of awesome things happening tonight. Alrighty, well, this
Thanks
was
for having
fun.
us.
Plugging right in. I
Thanks
love
for
that right
having
now
us.
is the first time this camera is actually clear. Like right now when we're saying goodbye, but that seems like the absolutely appropriate thing
Well,
to
maybe
do.
next time we'll get like a GoPro or a drone.
Yeah, we're just gonna strap it to Cheryl's head.
Yeah.
A drone would be. That makes a lot of sense.
No,
Yeah.
I think strapping a
Yeah.
GoPro to Cheryl's head is the move. Quite
I think it'll be
frankly.
fun.
It can even be off. We don't even need it to be recorded. We just need
No. I just want to see a
Just part
picture
of
of her
my
with,
look.
with
Yeah.
it on her
Yeah,
head.
I'll use Cheryl's blurry phone to record Cheryl with the GoPro on her head, wandering around.
Exactly.
Basel.
Down.
Next to Art Basel. 2020.
Alrighty.
2024. We'll see you there.
So
Okay.
4 p.m. Eastern time, the Crowd Muse and Slow Rodeo dropped 2 projects part of Seed Club. Super excited for that.
Yes.
I want that shirt. I'm buying that
Very
shirt.
hot merch.
Hell
Very
yeah.
good
It's
quality.
definitely hot. Yeah.
Super high
Yeah.
quality. We love
Love
it. Okay, thanks for having
All
us on, y'all.
Girls, thank you so much.
Ciao.
See you later.
See you.
That was a fun little foray into a live event.
I love that, like, you are, Mr. Bitcoin on Bitcoin Beach right now, coming in from Central America. I'm in the woods in Canada, and then we got the live stream. The internet's fun, man. This is just fun. This is just fun. All right, we got a lightning round. We of course we need a lightning round.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to this. Before I was like, I wonder if we're even gonna get to lightning round. That'll be sad to not have that. It's a popular segment. So peace, fire us through some stuff. All right, this is great. Actually, very related to what we were talking about earlier. Basically, like this guy's farming airdrop points for an airdrop on, I don't even know. I think Margin via a Solana, whatever DeFi protocol, and just dropped this great tweet after he was having kind of a negative interaction with the founder, and he was like, sorry, but like you're building yet another lending protocol, not a mission-driven startup on a path to save humanity. It's kind of hard for me to get excited by anything but your token. Which is so on point.
I think there's like a lot of insight baked into this. I mean, you look at like PSA. If you're trying to farm margin fi, I suggest you don't waste your efforts. You'll likely be disappointed. I think there's like, we were talking earlier about smooth brain and ownership, and I think like so much of this sort of like the dynamics that contribute to the just pure speculative nature of it is that many of these teams are just purely building speculative games without like that bigger why. What are we driving towards? And I think when you shared that tweet with me earlier this week, and we were talking about token a bunch, and you can easily want to get locked into trying to do all these fancy things to try to ensure that where's our buy demand coming from, and then where's like this the sink, right? Where's it so it's not leaving the system, and let's do all this sort of stuff. But like actually, the most important thing is like, what if you made something people want to be a part of forever? Like, what if they want it, they're excited about it, that having an ownership and earning it and being a part of it contributes to more than just purely like the short-term speculative game that's being laid out. And I think it's it's just such a simple idea captured here that I think it's very easy to fall into the trap where you try to go build the fancy mousetrap that tries to do things. But if you don't have that deep connection and belief around it, then it's just probably all for naught. Not to say the token won't be worth something and all that sort of stuff, but maybe just approach it as such.
100%. Yeah, I think doing that actually just solves a lot of the kind of negative challenges with tokens, right? It's like if you get it into the hands of people who are ideologically connected to the thing that you're building, and you're pulling them in and they're participating, and they have whatever social connections within your community, like they're not just gonna dump because like this is where they want to be and want to hang out. Yeah. All right.
Love
peace.
It. Great tweet.
Next.
Great tweet.
Good tweet. I don't know.
I don't know.
5 points. This is great.
This
is the best response. Amazing.
Well, what's your read on this? What are the realms of possibilities that this tweet could mean?
They're going hunting.
Is it a fox hunt right now? I don't think so.
Is it that time of year? I don't know. I'm not a hunter.
I guess the rumor mill that is, I mean, at least like what the crypto Twitter is trying to pick up on this is airdrop, baby. Let's get some tokens on the hand.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's the case or not.
I mean, they do have an airdrop tab in their app now. I mean, it's funny because we were talking. I think before you had even seen this, we were talking about. I think in the context of everything apps. How did we even get here? We were talking about like
Well, yeah, I think like so we're talking about everything apps, how our wallets, everything apps, and like what is the way to go build like that the challenge of building a network effect around something like that, and tokens being like a proven way of being able to sort of get a ton of attention and then kickstart those network effects. And I think there was probably a time maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, where if somebody came out with a wallet and maybe like wallet plus blast style like campaign, like maybe you could really hack and steal a bunch of new users and volume from that. But I think where we are today, it sounds like MetaMask token's been rumored for forever. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. Rainbow rumored. I mean, the amount of money these folks have raised, like the only perceivable way that their investors are going to come out on top is with the token. And I think that's probably what many entered into. And so, I think we're going to be entering into a different sort of era of around wallets and wallets incentivizing users to use them versus others. Obviously that's been done before, but I think the world is a little bit different today. And also, a product like MetaMask or Rainbow that has a deep user base is a very different thing than a completely nascent wallet that, I don't trust the blast multi-sig and want to lock my ETH up in there. I'm sure as hell not going to trust some random new wallet that comes out just to do it. So
true.
We'll see, I guess, next week.
Airdrops are back.
Oh, congrats to Greg. Very excited. Greg is the new mayor over at FWB. If you haven't been following around FWB, they've done a fairly big structural change of the DAO. I think they ran an election for 5 community stewards. That's not what they call them. Community council. There we go. And council has thus chose Greg to be the mayor. I think Alex is stepping down. We've had the pleasure of working with Greg on FWB Fest last year, and it's just been in the space for a while, and a wonderful human being. And I think I when I heard about the governance council and the models there, I was pretty bearish on it, frankly. I think my tweet maybe was like, like the council's where you bring bureaucracy to not get stuff done, not actually get stuff done. But I think this mix of like very strong leadership, he's the full-time guy who's pushing this forward on a regular basis and is deep of that community and the crypto community more broadly, along with what is just a stellar cast of council members, really people who deeply care about FWB and the space and are out there doing it. So when I sort of step back, I'm like, oh, okay, this is for friends with benefits. I think this is a very, very smart model for them to move.
I mean, I just like that they're experimenting too.
Yeah.
Like we kind of got into this like stagnant phase with kind of social DAOs like this, and we need to see what happens if you do something different. So let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
I had a funny first interact when I first met Greg. I was at actually the first FWB Fest I went to. I was wearing a shirt that I just bought online because I liked it. And he walks over to me. He's like, "Why the fuck are you wearing that?" I was like, "Sorry." But apparently he had designed the shirt and had like never seen one in the wild. There were like 20. It was some like limited run. He like collabed with some LA kind of like low key clothing brand, and I just like happened to have it and wear it on the day that I was going to FWB Fest. It was hilarious.
I love that. Bullish on asking people why the fuck they're wearing a shirt regardless is a good way to make friends. All right, what else we got? Hey, shout out to Prop House on chain. I think Prop House, emerged from the Announce ecosystem, sort of a way of a more interesting way, I guess, of giving out grants or distributing capital on chain, and another example of a smooth brain product, a very, very simple product that has a deep amount of technical competencies built into it, and I think there's sort of, I don't know if it's open source, but they brought it on chain and anybody can use it. Something we've looked at for some of the upcoming projects that we're working on as well. And I think it's just, a powerful tool, a part of this sort of the broader noun stack and beyond, or at least some of the innovation that's come out of there, fully funded by the nouns community. again, I think it's just a really great example of people coming together to build really useful things in new and interesting ways, and continue to be impressed by the team over there.
Yeah, Proho's good. Nice kind of like thoughtful path to going on chain too.
Yeah. Very good.
Nice. Peace, what else?
And Frank's up in there. We like the Frank. Oh, yes.
That's a good one.
So apparently Mountain Dew is using AI to watch streams and to ensure that people they sponsor feature their products on the streams, which seems so Orwellian in a crazy way. And this sort of comes on the back of well-known sort of security researcher on the internet. I think his name is Bruce Schneer, talking about just how AI is going to be used for mass surveillance even more than Web 2 or the internet has been so far. And so I think, obviously these are AI's taking a ton of attention, and there's so much excitement happening there, but it's sort of a useful flag to say, like, there's going to be some pretty fucked up ways people are going to use these tools. I'm not saying that, I mean, this is interesting for Mountain Dew. I could see why that might be interesting. You could see how you might use that tool in an open and clear and opt-in way to do interesting things. But it is kind of...
This reply is a bit concerning.
What is it?
It's like if your Mountain Dew's on cam and then it goes off cam, you'll somehow be prompted to bring it back on cam, and if you don't, they'll like remove you from like being a participating streamer or something.
I think we need to keep. I mean, just trying to turn humans into robots is just such a dystopian view. Let's leave robots to be more powerful and do the robot things, and like bring more humanity into it. And so. I don't know. Mountain Dew's trash anyways. Like our Mountain Dew here in Canada is so different than the Mountain Dew in the United States. You can't actually put caffeine. Like I drank a Mountain Dew in the United States and it was like,
wired.
What the hell is happening to me, man?
Yeah.
But interesting. AI changing our worlds right in front of us. All right.
Big brother Mountain Dew.
Do we have one more, or should we? Where we got
one more?
We got one more.
Oh yeah. There it is. The installation
Basel,
heard around the world. It's Tezos Art Week.
Wow,
Someone
that
said
is so much worse than I thought.
That's what happens when you significantly cut back your budget from a year ago.
I don't know who dropped the ball. I don't know if it was Tezos or if it was the hotel or who was in charge. But it is a weird display. Some weird signage going on.
There's a cage. They just wrapped a cage around
the way this was framed to me was like last year Tezos did this big, huge installation at Basel, and this is their version today. They got a whole bunch of artists to submit artworks here, and it looks like they bought a bunch of screens off Amazon, plugged them into this pillar, and that is the Tezos thing. I'm hoping there's more to it. It's so easy to poke fun at this sort of stuff, so I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer on the Tezos world, etc. But I hadn't seen this image until right now, but this is embarrassing, quite frankly.
It's awesome. Someone said I like how the Tezos art wall isn't even a wall.
Innovation, baby. Innovation.
Right.
I also love how you just that's just such a Miami lobby. Like you can smell the like coconut sunscreen just looking at that picture.
But they're owning it. I think it's good. It's a community builder. Look at this.
Oh,
Up only Tez pull. Everyone's doing their like, here we go. Like this is some nice stuff.
I mean, that looks good.
Hey man, they're like doing something really bad as a way of getting attention is like a tried and true way of succeeding on the internet. So maybe we've just been played. Maybe this is a big smooth brain approach. Everybody else is trying to, like what the NFT nows took over Farina and has the best displays and flowers everywhere. And Tezos like, well, we just go to do the polar opposite of that. Give us a poll.
Spend $10 and get more marketing value than all these other people spending.
It might be the case, right? They might walk away from this with a ton more attention than. I mean, there's far more tweets about this than I think about pretty much anything else I've seen. So,
100%.
Shout out to them. All right. Well, we got through everything. We didn't get it through everything on time. Do you have something else there, Piece? I mean, we're over. Is there anything else interesting?
Well, I have a 1-minute video. I'd love to play it. Oh, we're over time.
Now we'll do a 1-minute video in a second. Let's just wrap up here a little bit. Just a reminder that all these episodes are mintable on Pods. We're going to drop the link again. That's pods.media. You can find us there. You're just going to want to collect these things. This is a way of us. You're showcasing your presence here and your attention, and that is valuable to us, and we will not forget it. So make sure you hop over to pods.media and give us a mint. You'll see it pop in the stream as well, and you'll see yourself showing up on the leaderboard. Hurls continues to win the leaderboard, so that's embarrassing for everybody who's plugged in here. I don't know why you let him get away with winning. Also want to give a shout out to Song Camp. The mint is ending today. They dropped, actually, you want to just head over to the leaderboard piece here. I think this is fun. There's a fun collecting game around it. Matthew messaged me last night. He's like, you should be embarrassed by the fact that you're not in the top 5. And so I needed to go and make sure I beat out Jacob here with Club. So they have this sort of fun collectible game. And you can actually, if you go into the individual attributes and stuff too, you can see like that there is a ton of different things to collect. Pieces, I think, collected them all. We haven't quite yet, but it feels fun. So that mint ends today. Make sure you hop over there if you want to mint those before it closes. And see, I mean, it's been a great success for them. So shout out to Song Camp and also Peace. I know you work closely on this, so great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Strap the fuck in for Song Camp.
All right. Deep love and appreciation for everybody who hangs out here. We want to create just a fun place where you can hang out and vibe with us every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. You look at the very bottom of your screen, or at the top of your screen, if you're at live.seedclub.xyz, you text start to that number, you'll make sure you'll get a notification when we go live. We also might just go randomly live with some fun stuff. So you should probably be on that list. And we're only ever going to use it to send you notifications that we're live. So if you like us, you like C Club, you want to be a part of this, you can get on that list. Feels like next week's going to be a big week. This week it was a big week. Very excited. Strong end to the year. Love hanging out with you all and seeing the chat so hot today. So deep appreciation for y'all.
Godspeed.
See you next week.